The Kia Stinger is here from Seoul, South Korea. The Stinger is Kia's newest entry to the sedan marketplace, which was designed primarily to compete with other sedans like the Audi A5, the BMW 5 Series, the C-Class sedan, and other foreign sedan rivals. The Stinger normally starts at $33,000, but the model being shown here is a sportier GT2, which comes with a V6 twin-turbo standard and optional all-wheel drive, which increases the 0 to 60 time to 4.7 seconds. But before I get started with the video, I want to give a huge thanks to Kia of Fort Wayne. They've allowed me to take this Stinger out and review it. They have huge inventory and just about every model of Kia available. Their staff is absolutely friendly and knowledgeable, so please don't hesitate to contact them. I'll leave a link to their website in the description below. And without further ado, let's get to the video. The Kia Stinger is no stranger to speed, even for a hatchback. Under the hood is a 3.3-liter V6 twin-turbo which makes 365 horsepower and 376 pound-feet of torque, which is healthy numbers, even for a Kia. To stop itself, the Stinger has 13.8-inch Brembo brakes, which sit behind 18-inch alloy wheels in the front, as well as 13.4-inch Brembo brakes that sit behind 18-inch alloy wheels in the rear. The reasonably sized power plant is connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission. This propels the car from 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds and 0 to 100 in 10.9 seconds. And because of this, it definitely doesn't sound bad either. The Kia Stinger has about 23.3 cubic feet of cargo room, which is about average in its segment. It's definitely enough room to be a grocery getter or even a daily driver. It also doesn't hurt that the Stinger has 3 rear seats as well. The Stinger being shown is painted in the color Michael Blue Pearl, which really pops in the sun. I surprisingly like the exterior styling, nothing too fussy and a generally appealing design, although all of the vents that adorn the car are in fact fake, and this gave me quite a bit of a letdown. If there is one thing I would ever change about the car, it'd be the vents, but other than that, I have no complaints. This is a generally good looking car. The interior is absolutely beautiful. Now, I'm not one to generally nitpick about interior quality to begin with. Growing up with mainly GM products, I don't have too much to go off of. However, I can be certain in saying that the interior is well made and everything feels sturdy. Whether it's the machined aluminum trim or the plush leather, it looks absolutely presentable. There were some plastic bits here and there, but after all, this is a Kia. I was surprised knowing that a brand like Kia could produce something so good. Between the driver and the passenger, you'll find your buttons for heated and cooled seats, heating steering wheel, parking sensors, and auto start-stop. Just below the shift lever and parking brake, you'll find 3 switches. A really cool feature that I liked is auto hold, which just allows the car from creeping forward when your foot is off the brake at a stop. On the opposite side is the traction and stability control. Quick pressing it turns off traction, while a long press turns off both. To launch your car, you need to make sure that both are deactivated, which I'll get to later in the video. In the center, you have your drive mode selector. This knob gives you access to 5 different drive modes that change the vehicle's characteristics. Eco allows for better fuel efficiency, which ultimately increases your range. The Smart Drive mode adapts and records your driving style. It goes from Sport, Eco, and Comfort depending on how you drive. The Comfort Drive mode relaxes everything. The suspension becomes softer and the steering feel is a lot lighter, as well as smoother acceleration. Sport mode gives sharper handling and increased throttle response. It stiffens the suspension as well as quickening shift times. And the custom mode lets you change everything about the car, from the engine and transmission to even how the exhaust sounds. Just above that are the climate control buttons and the buttons that are used to control the infotainment system. It's all very easy to use and extremely ergonomic. Within just a few minutes of use, I was easily able to figure it out. The infotainment system was easy to use. It's responsive to the touch and suffers virtually no lag at all. The infotainment system has Apple and Android connectivity, Bluetooth, and normal radio functions. I won't be going over every menu in the infotainment system, but I will be going over some key features. The navigation screen, for instance, has some pretty cool features. It lets you select nearby gas stations and points of interest, as well as restaurants and emergency services. Another cool feature I found was in the Data Services tab. It lets you view your stocks and compare prices of nearby gas stations, as well as listen to sports scores and movies. In the rear, there aren't many creature comforts. There is, however, a 12-volt socket and a USB port for charging your phone, as well as 2 individual vents. The rear seats were very comfortable as well. They conformed to your body and provided lots of support. With the rear seats and the large hatchback, the Stinger offers a lot of cargo storage. The Stinger GT2 comes with the optional Harman Kardon speaker system standard. The premium audio system comes with 15 speakers and Harman Kardon's Quantum Logic technology. I'll let you all have a listen and be the judge of how it sounds. Personally, I like the way that the audio system sounds. It's clear, crisp, and has a lot of bass to it. Kia made a good choice going with Harman and Kardon for their speaker system. If I were to ever buy one of these cars, I would definitely go for this option. For the sake of complexity, I mainly chose to drive in sport mode. This is after all a sporty GT2 model, so it only fits. Straight off the line, I could immediately feel how responsive the car was. The steering felt weighted and gave good feedback of the road ahead. The suspension wasn't as harsh as I thought it would have been in sport mode. Even on the terrible roads the Midwest suffers from, I was still comfortable in the driver's seat. Launching the car was an absolute thrill. Coming to a complete stop, you would long press the traction control button between the driver and the passenger that I mentioned earlier. Doing this disengages traction and stability control, which preps the car for launch control. You mash the brake and the gas pedal, and when the car gives you the all okay, off you go. Holy You guys are gonna have to forgive me for my language, but it was an absolute rush. 4.7 seconds doesn't sound fast, but coming from a sedan made by Kia, I was totally not expecting that. The car felt very stable at speed, no wobbles, and was extremely smooth when changing lanes. As soon as I turned the wheel, the car followed with. Even the most minuscule movement and the car was in the adjacent lane. In that respect, the car was very precise with its steering. Getting on the brakes, I could feel just how grabby the Brembos were. I wasn't able to really get on them, but from what I felt, the car had some extreme stopping power. The Brembos come standard on the GT, GT1, and GT2 model, but the brakes alone I feel would make the price increase worth it. All in all, the drive was enjoyable and it showed me a bit more of what the car was capable of. Judging by what I felt, the car was rock solid and Kia knew what they were doing when they made this car. It picked up well at speed, and the Brembos brought the car to a halt better than it would ever need. For the price, you get good performance, which places this car in the midst of some serious competition. If you were to think Kia was a reliable brand, you'd be right. Korean and Japanese cars are known for their reliability. Kia is among the best for reliability within Consumer Reports. However, no car brand is without problems. I've compiled a few common problems that occur with the Stinger and pop up with mileage. First is the wiring harness. Located in the engine and the passenger compartment, the harness has been deemed a fire risk and Kia has issued a recall for some Stingers. The problem is caused by the wiring rubbing up against the sharp edge of the fender, which causes it to short circuit and catch fire. When buying a Stinger, make sure the wiring harness issue has been fixed by a dealer. The second most commonly known issue is the transmission. It's been known to be jerky at times and even slip gears. There's not a commonly known solution, but some dealers claim it may be low fluid, the clutch, or even a reprogram. It's completely random which Stingers it may happen to, but it generally happens on higher mileage cars. The third common known problem is the paint. The paint has been known to develop orange peel and even flake off. This mainly affected cars before 2019, but Kia has done a good job in resolving the issue for future builds. And that's really it. This car doesn't have a lot of problems. After all, it is made by Kia, which is well known for reliability. And even if something did pop up, repairs are fairly cheap compared to rivals. But the Stinger has only been in production for 3 years, and only time will tell what else might pop up. It has yet to prove itself with long-term reliability. But always make sure to do a PPI before you purchase a vehicle, and don't forget to do your own research as well. Knowing what you're getting into before you buy a vehicle can always save you trouble and the hassle. Going into this review, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, yes, I have seen reviews of the Stinger before, but what's it like in person? First of all, the styling is pretty good. Not as beautiful as many German cars, but it's enough to catch your attention. The car handled well on the road, it was very precise with its steering and gave great feedback. It also wasn't lacking with acceleration either, as launch control proved. The car was up to date with its features, but didn't provide anything groundbreaking like Tesla or BMW. The audio was crystal clear and was a great option on the car. The ride was comfortable, and with the 5 different drive modes you don't have to be stuck with just one comfort level. And with the large cargo area and room to carry 4 extra friends, the car is extremely practical as well. The car doesn't lack in material quality either, there's leather and aluminum everywhere. I also want to give another thank you to Kia of Fort Wayne for making this happen. Don't forget to check out their website in the description below. But at the end of the day, is this car worth $50,000? The base model starts at around $33,000, but that's for the 2-liter inline 4. Most car enthusiasts will opt for the V6, and probably all-wheel drive to help with the 0 to 60 time. After all, Kia does sell the Cadenza and the Optima if you didn't want a sporty car. I feel like Kia's biggest sales question is why? Why would people buy this car over rivals? Compared to rivals, I feel as if this car gives you more for the money and better reliability. Of course it'll never live up to the name of Audi, BMW, and Mercedes, but that's the point, it doesn't need to. German cars are beautiful, fast, and comfortable, yes, but sometimes that means sacrificing reliability and price. You get what you pay for, and in the Stinger's case, that's what makes it a bargain. But would I consider buying this car? And the answer is, yes I would. However, I am a diehard Audi fan, so it would be a hard sell. But if I wanted to save money without sacrificing performance, of course I'd buy this car. But some people still may not feel the same, because, at the end of the day, to them, it's still just a Kia. But if you look past what it is, if you look past the brand, and if you look past the badge, this is a great car.